Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and welcome. So today we are going to be going over the new things coming in next week. Of course, it is a Sunday, so they have just posted the thing onto the forum, so we'll go bring that up, go over the new mechs that are coming in. Unfortunately, nothing really too interesting. The kingdom in general is pretty bad, with the only exception that Tesla is in the kingdom, and Tesla is amazingly good. It's arguably even better than Dragon Soul early on in the game. It's super potent in its amount of damage it has, and it will be available in event keys, so a good week for newer players to get that. But other than that, nothing really too special about it for the most part. As far as the actual raids, it is week 3, day 7, but of course, since we have completed it out, there isn't much a need to, but because we need to go do Bounty Hunter, I guess we'll go do Bounty Hunter instead of raids in its place. But as you can see, we've already claimed all the rewards in this game mode, and for whatever reason, there's no incentive to keep playing after you've gotten all the rewards, so there's no point in us to keep going. So with that being said, we'll just go and collect our final reward, and that will give us a random major orb. So hopefully we get something decent here. Come on, blue or purple. There we go, I'll take it. That's 75 gem keys right there, essentially. So that is perfectly fine. Not the absolute best drop, but still nice. How close are we on the leaderboard here? Actually, how close are we in the guild? Oh, we're actually all the way at 21, but that's because I didn't do my other 4 battles, which would have made it go up quite a bit more. But yeah, what's the leaderboard at these days? Wow, it's actually really high for this leaderboard. 40,000. That's like double what we would normally have had, assuming we actually would have done the last few battles that we had. But, yeah, that's quite a bit of resources to throw out there. How many things would you need to go and do? I don't think that would be worth it. Unless you really want to go carry your guild on a given week, which I might do occasionally, but haven't needed to yet. Where's the thing for it? Yeah, this going up to here costs like what, 1,005 something? I forget the exact cost off the top of my head. I think it was like 1,510 or something. But yeah, then you have to keep doing this 500 pack. It does give 20 each time though. But still, that'd be like an extra 1,000 gems to throw down or something, probably. Or maybe not, because if you buy one of each, oh, that might be what they're doing. They're buying one of each or something, or buying up to tier 6 to get her to mythic. Oh, okay, I see. That's probably what they're doing then. Probably going all the way up to tier 6, and that's where all the people are. Because that's what I did for the other game mode, and we got up to 10-6 that way. Anyways, hello everyone. Hello Captain. Hello Sai. Hello Danny. Hello Adam. Hello Steve. Hello Sea-Dog. Hello Max. Hello William. And hello Candy. Welcome all. So, now that it's been a little while, let me go and go over the new troops that are coming in tomorrow. Let me just go bring up the little graphic. We're also getting a new weapon, but it's another one of those useless tier weapons, so nothing really too special there. But anyways, bring up this little thing, and let's go over it all. Where'd it go? I brought it up on stream, but it's nowhere to be seen on my screen. The struggle of using one screen. There we go. I am eventually going to get a multi-screen setup. The main reason I haven't really done that is I want to get a 2K screen if I end up doing that. And I'm kind of just waiting until technology advances a little bit, until a 2K screen is slightly cheaper. But yeah, if I'm going to be getting another screen, I definitely want it to be 2K. Might as well, if I'm going to bother going out of the way for it, which is why I haven't bothered doing it yet. But anyways, make sure that's still on stream correctly. Yep, looks fine. Oops, that's not what I meant to move. That is not at all. Why is there so many things hidden behind this thing? There we go. Okay, it's all good now? Okay, it's all good. Anyways, let's go over these two new troops. So here's the standard siege troop that's going to be coming in. Nothing really... Well, actually, there is something slightly over the top with this. I shouldn't say that. It has an automatic enrage on it. Or not automatic enrage, but every single time it does its ability, it gains enrage. This is particularly noteworthy because in the invasion, every single thing that you face later on in the invasion are towers. So with that being said, you're definitely going to be needing to use this guy, for sure. Sometimes it's been a little bit more optional, but this time it is definitely 100% mandatory to use this new invasion guy, mainly because he's going to have that enrage, which will stack with his siege breaker. Enrage ends up doing, it hits through all traits, so if they have that 75% reduction, it will completely ignore it. Not only that, but it also has 1.5 times damage, and if you stack that with his 5 times damage, that is a total of 7.5 times damage, assuming you had him all the way maxed, or 4.5 times damage if you just had the standard fully traded. So, yeah, it's going to be ridiculously good at killing down towers. Definitely advise fully trading it if you have the trade stones laying around. There's not too many good brown-greens out there. One of the main things that really gets upgraded in that regard is like Self-Anymorph or Entangle. So if you have them laying around, could be worth it if you want to go and get a decent score in Invasion. Of course, it is Invasion, and with both Raids and Invasion, it's not particularly important to do very well in them, unless your guild is particularly focused on it. But yeah, definitely a pretty nice troop to be using for the tower destruction. Other than out of the case of that, there really isn't much it's going to be used for. Its traits that aren't related to this game mode are pretty pitiful, and aside from this week, it's never going to be used again, so do keep that in mind. But other than that, we do have one other troop. It's very similar setup to that of an Alistair, except actually a little bit better, and it's cheaper too, and a 1 lower mana cost. But this is the one that will be available through Glory next week, which also means you'll be able to stock up on brown purple trait stones if you've been needing to throw it on anything. Given that some people may have thrown event keys this week to get some of the new troops, you could use the trait stones from her to fully trait your Bone Dragon or Keeper of Souls if you got either of those two, or you could just put it into something. Actually, there's not too many options for brown purple. I'm trying to like think of another one off the top of my head. Those are like the first two that normally come into mind, particularly Keeper of Souls. I guess Cabarrus too is pretty decent to throw it into. There's not too many good things underneath that color for the most part. But anyways, she destroys all gems of a chosen color, which is pretty decent board control. Does that for only 12 mana, which I believe is one of the lowest mana cost single targets in that regard. I know Tyrie's the absolute lowest, but as far as things that do secondary effects, that's pretty low cost for it. Gives all allies a bunch of armor, and that's boost ratioed based on how many gems are destroyed. So again, very similar to Templar, very similar to Alistair, very similar to basically every armor buffer in the game. One noteworthy thing about her, though, is she has 0 mana conflict with a Rowan. So she could be used in the context of a Rowan team. I don't really feel like she'll be used in any other situation, though. It is a mech, and she doesn't fit well with mechs. The main thing that makes her not fit well with mechs is the fact she uses brown. There's currently only one mech that boost ratio is based on armor, and that is a Bombot. But the problem with Bombot is it is a brown, so you'd be completely blocking it one way or the other. You're either blocking her or blocking the Bombot if you end up using this. So yeah, that's not really going to work out that well. So within mechs, she has no synergy whatsoever. But there's a few things she might be used for outside of it. Other than that, you're mainly just getting her for the trait stones and for the sake of having her. Pretty mid-tier, kind of useless troop for the most part. Though most things that boost armor is HP is way better to have than armor. And the only things that really tend to get used with armor are things that specifically need that armor boost in order to do damage. And of course, the most common troop for that is either Rowan or Guard's Avatar. This could be used with Guard's Avatar. Personally, I feel like the current stuff that's already gets used, like Honor, Apothecary, Corvash, and stuff, or even just going with like an Alchemist Hellcat loop and other similar teams, I feel like would be better than her for that. But yes, you could use it for that purpose too. But those are about the only 2 real troops you would use it with, essentially. Paladin, let's see. Paladin, High Paladin, Rowan, and Guard's Avatar. Those are about the only 4 troops you would really ever bother using her with. Everything else is pretty useless from what I can tell. Yeah, that's the new troop. That's both the new troop, 2 troops. There's a new weapon coming too. It's nothing too special though. It's just a standard mech thing. Oh, there was one other change though. I forgot about that too. I saw that earlier, but completely forgot about it now. But yeah, it's just a standard weapon. Deals damage, gets boost ratio based on mechs, blah, blah, blah. Creates red and blue. A little bit of a weird combination, though. One noteworthy aspect of this, which I actually just noticed now, though she doesn't count as a mech, unfortunately, I don't think. She's a human something. Or even just a human. But that fits right into a Tesla, actually. It creates blue and red, which is both of Tesla's mana. So very, very ever so maybe that could be used with Tesla. But you're not going to be using that with the event, though, which is kind of odd, because she does not have anything mech related. Actually, let me go double check that, because I actually forgot off the top of my head. Almost guarantee she has no mech. But for whatever reason, I do forget at the moment. Like 99% certain she's not a mech. But this is the strongest thing within the entire kingdom. The problem with this, though, is she's only a human, so she cannot be used within next week's event, and she can also not be used with this weapon, even though it seems like it's kind of created for her, which seems really odd. But yeah, she's the strongest thing in all of Adana. Actually, she's technically the only troop in all of Adana, pretty much, because there's so few other viable troops. But anyways, there are a few other changes, which I didn't mention yet. Where did the page go? There it is. Okay. They're finally nerfing Nyx and Florian on Monday. So we no longer have to deal with Nyx and Florian. You should pretty much replace them out of any team you have them in, because they are not necessarily useless, but they're going to be a lot less effective. Their spells being modified, so they will now drain up to a maximum of 12 mana, meaning there's no longer a full mana drain. and then they will create gems equal to that amount. And that means their max amount of gems they could create is only 12, which is not that many, given that you could just use any of the trolls to be able to create quite a bit more than that. So, yeah, really just not going to be useful anymore. I feel like they are nerfing it just a little bit too hard, because Nyx and Florian are basically dead content now for the most part. But they did need a nerf. I do feel like this is overextending just a little bit. They'll likely be available through refunds tomorrow, so if you do want to go refund them, if they don't have them up for refund, definitely go and send a support ticket to them, and go at least request it if you really want the trade stones back. But I almost guarantee they'll be available for refunds, because that's a really heavy nerf to both of them, particularly Nyx. Florian one was very rarely used to begin with, but it was mainly Nyx. That was the biggest problem due to the Farce Troll Nyx synergy. Oh, never mind. It says it right there. I didn't even read the next line. But yeah, they will be available through refund, so do go refund both of them, basically, if you need the trade stones for other stuff, and you probably do. Green, purple, you can go throw that into Kraken. Florian, brown, purple? Well, technically, you're getting all the brown purples you need off of next week's event, so I guess you technically don't have to refund her, but still refund her if you bother to trade her, might as well. Orc Veteran, they just fixed his thing so that it now works even when an enemy dies. And the same thing with the Soul of Xenos, basically. But yeah, they basically just fixed it so they work properly on death. Before both of these weapons, I think a few others too, but which they might have already indirectly fixed as well. But there were a few instances where things that would trigger something on death weren't really working properly when it actually killed an enemy, but now they fixed them. I think these might have been the only two. I could have sworn there was a few others, but whatever things had an issue with it, I think they fixed all of it for tomorrow. That's pretty nice. Nice to see some bug fixes coming in, because there's still several other ones within the game too. Most of them ridiculously minor, most of them visual glitches too, but there's still a few mechanical ones, and there's at least a couple of them that are now done with. But yeah, main noteworthy one there is the Nyx nerf, mostly, because that's basically makes her not necessarily useless, but you would definitely be using a Kraken instead of her, that's for sure. Since Kraken is a lot more damage, already insanely good, and the only aspect it's really missing is the mana drain part. Anyways, that's all the stuff coming in with tomorrow's event. As far as the event keys and things to note about it, if we go under troops real quick and go over to the Adana, here's everything that's going to be in event keys. It's going to be Karnex, which is a alternative exploder, though once you get Dragon Soul, you pretty much just use Dragon Soul instead. So he gets used for very rarely. Though he is impervious, he's actually if you're building a full impervious team, he's always ran in first slot, because he's the best mana generator with impervious. For the most part, as far as being able to generate for any color, he's the best generator that has impervious. So that's the one aspect he has going for him. Other than that, Clockwork Knight, I believe, is Ultra Rare Plus, not really too special. Draco's 1337, again, another impervious troop, though it's pretty weak and really needs a buff. Flame Cannon, I believe, is an Ultra Rare. Starting to forget base rarities now. Yeah, it is an ultra rare. It's a good early game AoE, but not really that relevant. Guillory is a mech counter, though not really that relevant because there's so few good mechs. Royal Engineer just summons either a bomb bot, a flame tank, or a cannon or a tank bot. Pretty useless overall, but he will be available. Spark Grinder, also useless. He used to be really good when mechs and constructs were the same typing, but now that he can only buff mechs and not constructs, he's been pretty useless. When he was able to do constructs when they were both just called mechs instead of the two categories they have now, he used to be insanely good because you could use him with constructs. But now that they made it mech only, there's pretty much zero good mechs. The only thing you ever use him with is Karnex, and that is it. There's Tank Bot, which is pretty useless. They did give it a buff several months back, but giving him Stone Skin, but even with that, he's still not used in anything. And basically, the only troop in this kingdom that you would actually get off of event keys that you would possibly want is Tesla. She is the strongest damaging troop that you can possibly own as a newer player, as well as one of the highest damage troops just in general. She has a really low base damage, but it has a good boost ratio. Deals 8 true damage randomly split among all enemies, which is obviously very low, but it's boosted by all ally and enemy armor. So this is particularly good, particularly in early game, because when you're first starting out in the game, and you're fighting stronger enemies, let's say your 3 trophies are starting to get strong and you're fighting like level 500s at level 50 or something like that, if you had a Tesla, you can actually destroy them. The team for it is Double Dwarven Gate, Valkyrie, Tesla. It is the cheapest viable team that you can run through the entire game and beat literally anyone. You can beat the dungeons with it, you can run through all PvP battles with it, essentially, unless they have a lot of Dispel. But yeah, she's insanely good at a lower level. You won't really see me using her much because there's better damage sources than her this late in the game. But yeah, definitely highly advised to try at least attempting for a copy if you're an early game player. Maybe throw down 50 event keys. You'd end up getting Cornix and a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, highly advised to have her if you're below level 300, maybe even below level 500. If you're like 1,000 plus and you don't already have her, you don't really need her because you probably have at least 1 or 2 other mythics and stuff. You probably already have her if you're that high a level. But yeah, definitely really good to go run. And she's basically the only viable thing from this kingdom, as well as the only viable thing within the event key drop pool next week. There's one other thing that's not in the... Actually, there's 2 troops in this kingdom that are viable, but not in the event key drop pool next week. It is Bombot. He's a common. He has pretty high damage output, actually, but he kills himself after his attack. He has a boost ratio based on his armor, which is pretty decent. As long as he doesn't get hit, he hits, I think mine hits like in the 30s or somewhere around there. Really decent damage. And of course, Alchemist, you see me using him a lot. Really good with Moneylender due to how much gold he instantly gives. He has immune to silence, has the red link. He's basically as good as a Valkyrie. Out of every convert in the game, he's arguably the best one. But yeah, those are the only 3 viable things in this entire kingdom. Alchemist, Bombot, and the Tesla. And Tesla's the only viable thing within the event key drop pool. And yeah, that's that. And yeah, that's pretty much everything with the new event. Let's actually go into doing things now, like doing Bounty Hunter, and then some PvP. Also, I need to check chat because I couldn't see it for that entire time. Sorry about that. Hello, Metalaris. Hello, Mystic. Let's see. Called Terra. I've not heard of Terra as a game. What is it about? Hello, Derek. Hello, Trey. Hello, Sea-Dog. Actually, I already said hi. Hello, Alonso. Hello, Max. Hello, Jordan. Welcome all. Welcome. You still want refunds as you need them level traded for the Kingdom Power level? Of course. I was just saying that as in people who might not have that many trait stones who may have gone into them. Obviously, you always keep everything fully maxed out because you need them for kingdoms if you already have a ridiculously high amount. But I was mainly saying that for people that have a small amount. But yes, obviously, since it is associated with kingdom level, if you have all of that trait stone that you would need, don't bother refunding. I just always say if you can refund, do refund because, of course, if you're doing it for kingdom leveling, then don't. But which is a lot of people later on in the game. But if you're earlier on, you always pretty much want to refund everything whenever it gets nerfed, if it gets nerfed. Like, for example, if Infernus gets nerfed, let's say next patch, you'd want to refund him, even though he's amazing, probably still going to be amazing. Just because you can always put it back in. You can always put all the resources back into the troop without any consequence, but you can't take it back out. So it's going to be refundable next week, both those two. And you have the option to do it the entire week. But if you choose not to and you want to at a later time, you will not be able to. So that's the main reason why I say it. So you can easily redo it, but you can't undo it, really. So if you leave it there and don't refund it, you can never refund it again. So do keep that in mind. But yeah, obviously, if you're keeping the kingdoms upgraded, if you're like at the point where I am in the game, you'd obviously wouldn't refund because you don't need those resources. You need to keep the kingdom upgraded to its star level, which is more beneficial than getting the resources back. Let's see. You get a hello for Maya and Danny. Hello, Maya and Danny. Glad you could join us. But yes. On PS4, first place is a guy with 1 million bounty hunter points. Wow. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I haven't even played any bounty hunter yet. That is one of the main things we're supposed to be doing on this stream. Because I need to go and close the gap. Unfortunately, we did get knocked down a lot, actually. I do not think we'll be able to make top 20. Thought we had it kind of in the bag, but nope. It's going to be a big enough gap that I don't think I'll be able to reach it. Even if I perfect score every battle, I don't think I'm going to be able to close that gap, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't think we'll make top 20. And it's not worth throwing the resources just to get another one of those orbs, or I don't feel like it would. I don't know, maybe. I'm probably not going to, though. I'm perfectly fine just with making top 50. We get one less little orb, but I think it's fine. But yeah, from that, we'll end up definitely guaranteeing ourselves an orb. We probably already guarantee have one. And we get ourselves 100 of our gems back, which isn't really that much. Actually, yeah, 100. Which isn't really that much given how much we spent into it. But at least it's something back, if nothing else. Anyways, let's go continue with the Bounty Hunter. We have 4 battles left, plus whatever we get from Val Ravens. We are, of course, running with the same team that we have been this entire time. Ice Wraith, Parrots, Feral Hound, and Yagwe. Insanely good. 23 times, up to 24 if this Parrot was actually mythic. Though next week, we'll be replacing Parrot with the new troop that's coming in. I think it's a yellow something. I forget what colors it was. It's yellow something. But we'll be replacing out the Parrot with that. And basically next month's Bounty Hunter will have 24 times for the first time ever. And we'll be using that pretty much the entire time, except for about the first 8 battles, where we're going to be using a 28 times? Somewhere's around there. Somewhere's like 28, 29 or something. Anyways, let's just get into these final few battles. Of course, we're up against the Ray Flesh Golem, Fairshra, Bastite Priestess. It never changes, so nothing new here. Just got to make sure we win every single one and kill every Valraven we see. Oh, well, there's a Valraven. Unfortunately, once again, very horrible location for him. That is the second hardest location for us to kill it. The hardest would, of course, be last slot, given the team that we're currently using anyways. Okay, yeah, we're not left with much options. I'm almost tempted to take that skull, but then again, he's just blocking us, so I almost want it to die down. He does freeze us there, but that's not going to come into play much. We'll go get this down. Perfect, got it right into alignment. I don't want to take those purples off the board. I actually need them on the board. He goes for a free skull, perfect. I just need him to tap it one more time, and that'll be good for us. He is getting dangerously close to full mana, though, on the Valraven, and we're nowhere close to operational, and he's about to get full mana right there. Okay, all he has to do is take one more mana poke now. And he also just got a poke right there, so that's not good. Try keeping our bird alive if we can. That did damage to our barrier, that's fine. Please, extra turn. Please give full mana. Extra turn doesn't matter if we don't get the mana either. Well, I guess we'll take this red, surge it. We'll be very close to full, but not all the way there yet. We're still one off. And yeah, Valraven's only one tick away from getting up there. It does give us the full finally, so we can start to actually play this battle now. Unfortunately, we don't have the board for it, so I am going to... Okay, I'm going to throw a blank one. We don't actually turn off that, but I am going for... Oh, good. We did get it right off the top there. That was really lucky. So we'll go get this down. There's really no point in trying to silence him, mainly because the biggest threat is his Valraven. And we can't silence his Valraven. So just got to keep pressing damage and hope he doesn't get yellow. Oh, we're frozen on yellow. That is very unfortunate. I can't go and grab that. So we're just going to have to try overriding it. Oh, good. We did get it. Nice. So we'll get that down. Now we can start finally hitting the Valraven. Only it took like 20 moves, but we can finally start to hit the trip that's about to get full mana and then leave the battle. I think we've missed like 4 Valravens. We would easily be top 20 if we didn't miss any of the Valravens, or even just if we missed slightly less of the Valravens. Okay, we'll go grab that down. No new alignment, but hopefully that'll hit. It does. Still no alignment. Might just have to throw it again. Wait, wow, we're frozen on blue. I almost fell for that trap. That would have been a fail. There we go. Finally, we got alignment again. One more will do it. Actually, I could just take a red. We won. That's match. So we'll do that just out of safety's sake. Throw this down, and yeah, there's no way it could win at this point. Unless it's got a billion skulls, which can happen. 1,000 skulls on top of each other. Okay, we'll go and take the final blow there, and that's that. And there we go. So we get 2 more bounty battles. How close are we going to get? That's 4,600 per battle. Let's say we have only these 5 more battles and nothing else. That will be... Calculator, go. 4,600 times 5 equals 23,000. Add that to our number. And that is 400. That comes out to 349,400. We are how short? Let's see. We will be... Oh, wow. That's a large gap. We will need a lot of Valravens. We need to find like 4 or 5 Valravens to do it without it. Never mind. That's not happening. RIP. Okay. Well, let's just keep doing it just to ensure we get our top 50, I guess, if nothing else. But yeah, this will be the highest we've ever ranked. Though, of course, we could easily rank even higher if we just threw gems at it. But I don't want to throw even more gems at it than what we already have. I think the current amount is perfectly fine. Actually, if anything, I think we already spent 200 gems too many on it this week. Should have just went for tier 6 instead of tier 7. What do we take? What do we take? Nothing really good to move. I guess we just deliberately let him poke us. Perfect. That's not enough to kill it, though. There's no good manas to take. Even if I take blue, he's just going to take that. I don't want to take that skull because I want him taking it. So let's do that, I guess. And we'll take the brown, it'll leak over. Oh, and actually gives us full mana, nice. We can't take that skull, even if we wanted to, because we are frozen on him, so we're just going to leave it there. ETLs takes the skull. How did that not kill it? You've got to be kidding me. The random barrier we got is on the one thing I didn't want to be barriered. The one thing we're trying to kill out, and it actually gets barrier. Okay. Well, hopefully if we do that again, we'll not re-barrier him. Okay, that just tried draining something. No clue what it even aimed on, but it did pretty much nothing. Go get that down again. Get the last little bit of our reds if we can somewheres. Yeah, we're not frozen on purple. We can go grab that. I don't really have many other moves, though. I guess we can go take a red and try going into red-red. Didn't get it. but he kills that out, which is beneficial to us. Now we can actually start to do things. I can't wait till Bounty Hunter actually gets enough troops to really make viable teams. We're getting there. We now have Feral Hound plus Yagwe, which is basically the new meta to run in invasions forever. Because one really interesting thing about Bounty Hunter is once a good team comes around, you can keep using it every single week for Bounty Hunter, or every single month, I mean, when it comes back around. Mainly because once you have that one good team, you can always use it. You'll still have to use a select other troop every single time, but yeah, we'll always be able to use this double combo, because the only restriction that Bounty Hunter has is you basically have to use 2 to 3 Bounty Hunter troops, just so you maintain a really high score. But yeah, we can easily do that. We use Yagwe with that, and then 2 other troops. One would be whatever the event troop is, and one would be something else, like Parrot. I'm just using Parrot because out of everything else under Bounty Hunter, that's the... Everything's pretty bad other than this Feral Hound, but that is the least worst one out of all the options, so that's why we're using that one. The biggest thing we really need in Bounty Hunter, it'll probably be a couple months before we even get it though, because next Bounty Hunter isn't bringing it, but we really need a good single target Bounty Hunter troop that can deal with Valraven. There's currently no Bounty Hunter troops that are available to deal with Valraven that well, which allows it to escape pretty easily if you don't get a good enough board or a good enough damage loop. Alright, he'll do that. He hits 0 because we're barriered. We'll take brown. We could take red, but this way we have more reds on the board for when we cast this, giving us a higher chance to extra turn. And that's match. We just cast this twice and that's over. Or we could just take in a red, and that would also ended it. And there we go. Oh yeah, don't forget, I forgot about that. Farish Ra. If you haven't gotten them yet, you still have an ever so slight amount of time to go and get the last resources either for him or to throw a few more event keys if you wanted to. But yeah, he's available both in the Soul Forge and event keys, and he's the best soul farmer in the game. One of the best single targets and everything like that. Really nice strip to have. Highly advise getting him if you don't already have one, if you can actually afford it. Let's see. About the Parrot, they nerf it. They changed how it works. It used to be, it was really, really buggy when it first came out, and now it is still very, very buggy. I have no clue how Parrot is even supposed to work at this point, because they just, all they did was change what the glitchiness of what Parrot used to be to some kind of different glitchiness that it currently is now. I'm not really sure what is up with it, but it's, I don't know. Whatever Parrot is doing, I don't understand what it's doing. So, yeah, it's really strange. It's not doing what it says on the card, I can say that much. Whatever it says on the card, it does not actually do. It does some kind of silence function. But yeah, it's really weird. Is the video not working? No, it should be working. It's working. It should be. At least on my end it is. Of course, working on my end doesn't necessarily mean it's working everywhere. But I'm looking at the live version, and it seems to be working fine. Let's see. Yes, I know I'm famous for my mispronunciations. Actually, that's probably the 2 biggest things that people know me for. Even, like, the few other games I have covered in the past, they know me more for my hello, everyone, and how badly I mispronounce everything. More so than anything. It's really funny. Like, for example, like in RuneScape and such, and, like, other games. Like, games I don't really cover too much. Like, from those games that do happen to know me from YouTube. They don't know me because, of course, Gems of War or anything. They know me because of my intro and how badly I mispronounce everything. But yeah, anyways. I have been trying to get better. Slightly. Ever so slightly. It's a learning process. A long learning process. Let's see. And you could upgrade Infernus with an orb if you have to trait a lot of troops. Oh yeah, that's another thing that you could do too, which I kind of forgot about. Whenever a troop is available through a refund, one weird exploit / mechanic that you can do, which we haven't really been able to do because I believe this is the first refund since then. I should probably mention that on Monday. But yes, you can refund a troop, then use orbs on it to retrade it. And basically what this will allow you to do is you'll get to keep all those resources, like the trait stones that you just got from refunding it, but you then also get all those trait stones back. So basically, by using the orbs on it. So you basically just converted your orbs into trait stones. instead, of course, you could always just go and use that orb to fully trade something. So is that really worth doing? Not really. But what it is worth doing on is if there's ever a legend or a mythic that becomes refundable, what you can do is refund it, use an orb on it, or multiple orbs if you're using a smaller one. And there you go, boom. You can go use that to go and upgrade a smaller troop and do it for a slightly cheaper amount. I don't think it'll be really worth doing on epics, maybe. Some people might consider it, because at that point you might as well just throw it at a legend or mythic, so not really worth doing. But yeah, if a legend or mythic is ever becomes refundable, that is a strange mechanic / exploit that you can do. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't really consider that an exploit. There has been some things where you could gain infinite resources on it, but that's not I wouldn't consider that infinite resources. That's basically just refunding your orbs for trait stones instead. It's a weird mechanic, but yeah, you can go do that. I don't really think you would bother with it on epics, but maybe if they nerf Infernus, like was mentioned and stuff like that, it might be worth doing it on that if you have an Infernus laying around or whatever they happen to nerf that's a legend or mythic ever. Is there a good ssaszix team? No, there's currently 0 good ssaszix teams because there's not enough ssaszix synergy within ssaszix. Or a good team with Garuda. Garuda tends to get used as an alternative damage source for when you don't have better damage sources. You basically just use it in any instance where you would use a Dawnbringer. You basically just put a Garuda there instead. I wouldn't really advise using Garuda. It's the biggest issue it has is it loses its turn whenever it casts, so that's pretty bad. But it does have a nice storm and it does have decent damage. The biggest issue is just it keeps losing its turn constantly, which doesn't make it as viable as things that have less damage but are capable of at least keeping their turn or mana generating and stuff like that. But yeah, I would not bother with Garuda, personally, unless you have no other damage option, in which case you would just use them in like standard Gorgolfa teams and stuff like that. You can also use them in standard Alchemist Moneylender teams, like Alchemist Moneylender, Goblin Rocket with him, or just simply a Gorgolfa mana generation team with Gorgolfa, Garuda, a mana generator, and a 4th damage source, and run it like that. Oh, ssaszix? Yeah, that's what I meant, Strix, not ssaszix. Yeah, ssaszix is a Strix, but Strix is the classification of the Strixes, if that's how it's pronounced. So hello, Aaron, welcome. And hello, Medieval, welcome as well. Is there a normal red and purple good Guild War teams with Voice of Orpheus? No. Voice of Orpheus is actually quite weak. A lot weaker than I thought it would be, mainly because the way it implements damage is a lot different than I thought it would implement damage. But yeah, I would not... honestly, I wouldn't really bother using Voice of Orpheus in any situation. The only time you'd really bring it out is if you're specifically using yellow mana generation. And I don't think there's anything good enough on purple or... well, on Red Guild War Day you could do Alchemist, but I don't think there's anything under purple that has enough yellow generation to be worth using Voice of Orpheus. But yeah, for Red Day you can use some kind of Alchemist Voice of Orpheus team with 2 other troops that are damage sources, of course, and run it that way. But yeah, I don't think you can run it on Purple Day. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions? Let me see. Don't believe I did, and if I did, definitely make sure to mention it. Oh, 02, welcome. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was about the parrot thing. But yeah, it's the way that parrot functions right now, I don't even really understand. They changed it. They did indeed change it, 100% sure of that. But it still seems to be glitched. That or it's running 2 independent 50% chance to do silence. So basically it has a 100% chance to silence a target, and I guess it has 2 independent 50% chances to silence the one above and below. I think that may be how it works, though from my experience, that's not exactly what it's doing. It keeps silencing like the same ones every single time. Like if we keep doing it on 2nd slot, it'll for whatever reason keep silencing 1st and 2nd, but it will never actually silence 3rd and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just really strange. Anyways, let's go and finish out the last little bit of our bounty hunter. We're still actually right back at 4 battles, exactly where we started, because we got Valraven. If we keep getting lucky, we might be here forever. I still need to finish out the current event too. We need to kill a bunch of purples in PvP and explore. I've done so little PvP this week that I haven't even reached it, which is pretty sad. I think this is the lowest amount of PvP I've done in any week so far. Actually, I don't even think I have my own guild's minimum trophy amount right now. That is how little PvP I've done. But I'll be grinding that out later tonight, because I'll be up for a while, because I normally stay up on Monday nights to go record the event video as soon as it launches. Okay, we'll go through the Yogway down. It's because the whole reason why we haven't done that much of it is a good majority of my time has been spent in raids and invasion. Like this entire time we've pretty much just been doing raids and invasion instead of PvP or anything. Because, well, I just wanted to get the invasion done. I mean, why did I say that? I meant raids and bounty hunter. You guys know what I'm saying. They keep adding too many game modes. Actually, I don't mind them adding more game modes. I just wish they would add more mini-game-like game modes and not, like, the normal kind of gameplay, like, game modes. Like, stuff like treasure hunt and stuff. Like, obviously not exactly treasure hunt, but things in the similar kind of puzzle-like theme of that. What do we go for here? We'll go for that. Get this down. Is that aligned? No, it is not, but it's still damaged, so we'll go for it. And now we just throw it down again, and that should be matched, and down it goes. Solid 4,600s. Yeah, I think we'll be around 20 seconds by the end of this. So close. Depends how many Val Ravens we get. We'll take that red, sure, why not? Let's go give her our mana generation quite immediately. Do you ever build a team around a card, like even if it's weak? Yes, sometimes. We do that for random troop challenges too. Well, actually, it's slightly different. That's just when we pick up when we just open a bunch of keys and then use whatever we get. But yeah, I sometimes build around stuff that's really weak. We build around a peasant a lot because he's actually one of my favorite troops in the game, even though he's pretty bad. I like the kind of board control functionality he has. He's not really useful in a viable team, but you can build teams completely around him. But yeah, there's plenty of weak troops that you technically could do. We do that a lot for event videos too. We'll be doing that on Monday. The current event troop that's coming in is not worth using ever. But I will still be doing teams with it and showing stuff because, well, it's new and we just always do. But yeah, there's no point in ever really using the new troop that's coming in on Monday. But that's technically what we do because it's a weak troop and we still build teams for it. Normally with stuff like that, I only use it for the week and then never touch it again. Oh, we'll go through that at it. Yeah, we'll be good to go. Get a voice. I mean, not a voice of I almost just called it voice of Orpheus. Go through that down. Wrong troop by a mile. They're not even remotely similar. We'll go through this down again. Hopefully get alignment. I could silence, but I don't think it's needed. Oh, he better not HP buff. Ah, he went for it. Okay, I should have done it. Yeah, let's go for the silence. I actually do need it now. We'll go silence him. Oops, I left yellow there. Actually, that's not bad. He'll create purples for us, or she'll create purples for us, which actually helps us out. So I'm going to throw this down, get our convert. I was kind of hoping he would cast, but we'll go for this. And, oh, he silenced. That's not good. Luckily, he missed the follow-up, and we'll just go for that into one more poke, and that's match. And down it goes. Like a Zelino? Wait, is that one bird thing? I never really did do much with it. If that's the one I think it is. That's that green bird from, I forget what kingdom it's even from. I think Shentang. Let's see, Zen. It is. Yeah, I've been meaning to use this. It's a rockworm, essentially. It's a different version of rockworm. It's basically the green version of rockworm is what this is. It's better and worse than rockworm. It's better in that it has the fast trait, as well as immune to silence. Actually, I think the other one has immune to silence too, but it has the fast trait, so it gets up quicker. It's worse in that it hits a random enemy instead of the last enemy, which is a little bit annoying because if you keep hitting the last enemy, you'll at least keep getting kills, whereas this thing does not get to keep getting kills. I guess it has the poison aspect, which makes it a little bit better, but yeah, the team that you build with this is basically just Green Seer, triple Zenio, or what's it called? Or Forest Troll, triple Zenio. And that's basically all you would do. Or you could go Web Spinner with triple as well, or some kind of weird team like that as well. But yeah, let's just go do that real quick. Might as well. Let's go put 3 of these into a team. And go do a Green Seer, since I have a little bit more control. And for the banner, where are you, Green Seer? Too many things have the word green in it. Green Seer. And for the banner, we need a +1 into both of them. There we go. +2 yellow, +1 green. So even if we don't surge... Actually, is there a +2 green, +1 yellow, or +2 green, +1 purple? I believe there is, but it has to be not minusing our color. Yep, that's exactly what we need. +2 green, +1 purple. There we go. Okay, so let's go use this banner. I believe that's even the kingdom it's from, right? Are you from Shentang or are you from Silverglade? They were both added so close to each other, I keep forgetting. Yeah, it's Shentang. Yeah, I didn't really bother using this troop much. We'll try throwing against the meta. Actually, that's not really meta. It's still ridiculously strong, though, but we'll see what happens. Infernus, Hellcat, Schema. Do you convert it out? No, you don't. You do yellow and blue. Oh, yeah, we might be okay. I might end up feeding the Queen Aurora way too much, but we'll give it a shot. So here is this team against a really real team, so we'll probably fail miserably. We'll try it against something weaker after this. What do we need? What do we need? We have the purple on our plus, so we'll go try getting a yellow drop. Didn't get it. That was worth a shot. We'll let him skull us. Other issue is this thing's only ultra rare as well, so we probably should go in a weaker battle. What do we go for? We'll go and, I guess, get rid of blue for now. That gives us purple 2 off the cascades. And if it surges, that'll be really good. Perfect, exactly what we needed. And now we start spamming this like crazy. And hopefully it will actually extra turn and not give it to him. Okay, we're just going to keep feeding Queen Aurora at this point. It's kind of like Web Spinner, except not anywhere near as good. But it's only common, so you can easily get this from a very early point. And you can use Forest Troll or Greenseer. Greenseer I do feel like would be slightly better. They both are epics, unfortunately, but still pretty easy to obtain for the most part. Just might not necessarily, everyone might not have it. But yeah, it's pretty funny. It works exactly like how Rockworms does, except you hit random enemies instead of last slot, which is a little bit annoying because that means his whole team basically gets to survive for quite a bit of time. Because if we were using Rockworm, his last slot would be dead by now. And obviously we died to Infernus because it's such ridiculously high damage. And there we go. I was kind of expected that we'd lose that one. Let's go try it against something slightly weaker that's more towards the leveling of our stuff. There we go. That'll work. So let's go try it against this. And we should fend a little bit better. Infernus does hard counter us, though. He converts all green into skulls. So that would obviously be very bad. Oh, let's see if we can one-turn him. It's currently turn 1. Haven't one-turned in a while. We might actually be able to. It's still turn 1 right now. Ah, it failed. Okay, we'll have to 2-turn him then. Let me go convert out all the blue. And back to the spam. And there we go. Okay, we 2-turned him. So a little bit slower, but there we go. But yeah, it works like Rockworm, except slightly different. Not sure if it's necessarily better or not. It is pretty funny. But yeah, that's pretty much that troop in a nutshell. Not really worth using this late in the game, obviously, but it does function. Let's see. But yeah, if you don't have it traded, I would definitely go Rockworms with Deep Bore instead. But if you do have that troop fully traded, or I think it needs its first 2 traits, then you might as well try that, because it gets a quicker start if you have Greenseer. It really just depends, because the big thing that makes the other team a little bit more viable is you need either Greenseer, well, ideally Greenseer, but either Greenseer or Forest Troll to make that team, which is both epics, whereas with a Rockworm team, which is essentially the exact same thing, you only need a rare and 3 commons instead of a epic and 3 commons, so it's a lot easier to build the other team. But yeah, anyways, that's that. Let me go and do the last of Bounty Hunter. Also, before I forget, let me go do Rage real quick. It is Gem Day. Also, if any of you were looking to craft Fairish Ra, I know it does cost $5, but you can get 150 diamonds if you are a small amount short. And doing both of these is 230 diamonds, so if you're very close to closing the gap, it is possible to close it with that. But yeah, do keep that in mind if you're looking for a Fairish Ra. It's definitely worth getting Fairish Ra for only $5 if you're that close to it. But of course, it does cost money, unfortunately. But it is worth considering if you are that close. What do we even need to go and move? We'll go through the Sunbird edit. Get up more fire bombs and keep going from there. Move that over. Get firebomb down. Actually, I don't even need it. Just throw that down and good to go. Go into the next one. Mang, using Dragon Hero class, Best State, Bone Dragon, Keeper. Is that what you end up using for the raids today? I've been using so many different raids teams this week, and I feel like all of them were still horrible. Though that one does seem like it might end up working out. But we already ended up completing out raids, so we don't really need to do anything else with it, unfortunately. They really do need to add some kind of incentive structure to that, though. To raids and invasion, to keep playing it even after you've done the battles. Like, nothing too big, but at least give us something for doing it. I know there's a leaderboard thing, which is technically what's supposed to be the after effect of it. But with how it's currently set up, you will nowhere near make the leaderboard if you just do the default. If everyone just does the minimum of your guild, if everyone in your guild is about the same amount, you really don't need that many battles in order to finish out the game mode. If you had to choose the quickest PvP team for level 1000 plus, what would it be? Probably something with Mercy into Infernus. As far as the specific lineup, that is questionable. But any Mercy into an Infernus team would be the quickest possible end game team you can use right now, because of Infernus's damage output. And that's going to be changed once Doom Skulls get added in 3.4 to basically the same thing, except with a Doom Skull spammer. So the team would be Mercy, something that spams, or it would be Mercy, a mana generator, possibly like Divine Isabella, Infernus, and a Doom Skull creator is likely going to be the best possible team. Anyways, let's go throw the 50 gems down to go get all that. Obviously, I won't be going for the $5 thing because we personally don't need it. I think we have, like, how many do we even have now? We almost have enough to craft 4 mythics, I think. Just laying around in our resources. Let me see. We have, yeah, almost. We have 14,690. I should probably be keeping my shards. I think I'm going to start keeping my shards. But yeah, we have about 200 more than that if we were to do it. So we currently have 14,890 diamonds, which is enough to craft 3.5 mythics. Almost, actually 3.75, or 3.7 something decimal point mythics is how many we can craft. So yeah, we're almost up to 4. Very nice. Will I ever be using this? I have no clue. I don't know what I'll be throwing those on. I keep accumulating them as if I need to throw them on something, but there really isn't much. Because every mythic I get pretty much as soon as it comes out. Actually, literally every mythic. There hasn't been a single mythic I haven't gotten on the day of release. Other than that, we can't craft this out of diamond, so can't do that. Legends, I may eventually need to get them to mythic, but I don't know. Maybe once 10 Star Kingdoms start coming around, but we might just naturally get them up and not even need to use diamonds on. I mean, yeah, diamonds on it. And as far as other mythics, there isn't really too many mythics I need multiple copies of. And ones that you do need multiple copies of, like Fair Shry, I already have like 4 copies of them. Almost every mythic that requires multiple copies, I already have multiple copies of. There are a few exceptions out there. I forget specifically which off the top of my head. But, I don't know, maybe we'll go for that eventually, I'm not sure. But anyways. Is 150 gems good offer for 150 diamonds on PS4? Yes, if I had that offer, I would definitely go for it, personally. 1 gem to 1 diamond is definitely a decent convert, especially since it comes with all those other resources, I assume. But yeah, I would be throwing that every single day, probably, or every single week, I should say, when it's Diamond Day, if I had that capability. But yeah, on both PS4 and I believe Xbox One, it doesn't even cost you $5. Instead, it costs you, like you said, I think 150 gems. It might be something different on Xbox One, I forget. But yeah, it's kind of weird that it's different that way. But yeah, I personally would be throwing that down every Sunday for Diamond Day if it only costs you gems instead of money. Because for 150 gems, it's definitely worth it. Assuming you have the excess. Of course, if you don't have excess gems, then maybe hold off. But if you have like thousands of gems, then it's definitely worth considering. Because the diamonds would be a lot better for you to start aiming for actual mythics than the 150 gems would. Because 150 gems is only 3 VIP keys or about 150 or so gem keys. So it'd be much better spent putting 150 diamonds towards a mythic that you get to choose which one you actually want. Would you use the glory stash if you didn't get a mythic by using all your keys? No. I'd probably sooner use my guild key stash before I would use my glory stash. Because the only reason I'm holding these is because they said they may eventually update the drop table. But they said that like 9 months ago. So I'm skeptical of if they will ever update it. I want to ask that if they ever do another Q&A. And hopefully it will get upvoted enough that it will actually get asked. But yeah, they said it like 9 months ago that they would do it in 3 months or so. They said 9 months ago that they would do it in a few months. And yeah, it's 9 months later. So I'm not sure what's up with these. It's the whole reason why I've been saving them. If you're wondering like why I haven't opened them, they said they would eventually update this drop table to have like new cards and stuff in it. New like guild guardians and stuff. Basically, they'll replace out the current 6 with a new 6. But they haven't done that yet. So yeah, I don't know what's up with it, but I would much sooner throw these down than throwing glory down. Because I need to save this glory for buying glory packs for when 10 Star Kingdoms start to come around. Because these are only ever obtainable through glory, or at least initially. We can do event keys too, but it's a lot cheaper doing it through glory than it is through event keys. Also, some of them aren't even in event keys. Like, for example, Wall of Bones wouldn't be in event keys because it's a common. Also, for whatever reason, fun fact, with how they are cost, or the cost on all these troops, it actually takes the most amount of glory to upgrade a common to mythic than it does to any of the other ones. Epics are the absolute cheapest, and commons are the absolute most expensive. I guess that technically makes sense because it has the shortest gap in order to reach that ascension. But still, it seems kind of weird that you can a lot easier get a mythic or get an epic to mythic than you can a common. You'd think the common would be a little bit more common to get to mythic, but no, that is not the case. It's actually the hardest one. I think it costs over 10,000 something glory in order to get a common to mythic via glory. Of course, there's not much of a need to ever do that, but once 10 Star Kingdoms start coming around, you will, and that's why I have the stash. What we'll do, what's Doom Skull spawn? Oh yeah, Doom Skulls are a new mechanic that's coming in version 3.4. This is not the next version, but it's the version after next version of the game. They finally confirmed what it is, and it's exactly what we've been speculating what it is. It's the exact same mechanic from Puzzle Quest. For any of you that haven't played Puzzle Quest, what a Doom Skull basically is it's a skull that does +5 additional skull damage. So if you take it, it'll do +5 damage to your thing. If you explode it, it will do 5 additional damage to whatever their first slot is, and it will also explode everything around it. I assume that's 70% mana gain. The way it works in Puzzle Quest is you would actually gain 100% of the mana around it, but of course the way that explosions work specifically in Gems of War is it only does 70% instead of 100. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually nerf that down to 50% after Doom Skulls come out. But one weird mechanic of this, assuming that it doesn't change from how normal skulls work, is you would be able to hit through skull mitigation as well as get full value when you explode it. So exploders are going to be insanely powerful, especially exploders that only do a few explosions. So things like low-level Dragon Soul, Infernus, Firebomb, they're going to be even stronger, and they're already some of the strongest troops in the game. So a little bit of a weird mechanic to be bringing in now, given what the current meta is within the game. But yeah, a good majority of what's already amazing is going to be even better once Doom Skulls get implemented. Also, wow, it is pouring outside. I heard there was like a little bit of a storm watch. I didn't actually see if it was like any kind of hurricane or anything. I assume it's not really anything big. But it just like did a gigantic downpour out of nowhere. I noticed that about South Carolina too. I'm pretty sure other locations have it too, particularly various storm zones. But it could go from like a perfectly sunny day to just complete downpour in a matter of seconds. Like not a cloud in sight to just complete downpour pretty much out of nowhere. It's really strange. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions and all that? Sorry if this was asked, but is there any immunity defense to Dracos' 25% destroy ability? No. There is currently nothing in the game that has protection against instant kills. The only thing that have protection against instant kills are currently unownable, and they are all of the towers and the raid boss during raids. But yes, every player-owned troop, there isn't a single player-owned troop that has immunity to lethal damage. So things like Assassin, Archer, Dracos 1337, Skyla, all those troops and a few others that have instant kill capabilities, there is nothing currently that is player-owned that has immunity to those abilities. They may eventually add something. I'm actually really surprised they didn't add it to the player-owned version of Zugoff. I wonder if they'll eventually give it to him once people actually start getting him and realize he's so useless. But yeah, if they were to give it to any troop, that would probably be something they should give it to. Since the normal Zugoff has it, but the player-owned version does not. He has Impervious instead of the whatever the other immune is called. Yeah, something's like coming up from my throat. That's what you get when not drinking enough water. Anyways, let me finish out raids. I haven't even done that yet. Let's keep going. Keep getting sidetracked. I think we have 3 battles left, if I'm not mistaken. 2 battles left, unless we get a Val Raven, in which case we have 4 battles left. Hello, Anthony. Welcome. Oh, there we go, Val Raven. Well, apparently 4 battles left. Yeah, if anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Because we'll definitely be around at least until we finish raids. Maybe even a little bit longer. Let's see. We're going to take that down. If you have any questions about the event, anything in Gems of War, anything about anything. Okay, we'll go take the red. This we don't have to cast. Oh, yeah, never mind. I lied. We got the alignment. Thank you for that. Go throw this down. Got all the mana back. No alignment, but we'll go for that. Oh, he's 1 mana off from escaping. Of course, it's not a guaranteed chance, but he likes to have a 100% chance, even though it's only 30%. Alright, we'll throw this down. Oh, how did that not extra turn with all that red we had? That was like a perfect board. Couldn't really have even gotten a better board than that, and it still misses. Okay, that's a fail. At least he converts out yellow. He actually helped me, because now he doesn't get a Val Raven. And now we can just kill him out. And I'm going to definitely take it this turn just out of safety's sake. I do not need him escaping. That is 2 battles worth of battles right there. And yeah, that'd be horrible if he escapes, because it's basically like losing twice. And what do we need? We'll throw this down again. Hopefully we'll get into a double cast. He'll do that, help us out. Gives us our alignment we need. Get that in there. Get this down. Throw it down again. Yeah, go for it. And down it goes. Oh, that was enough damage as well. I didn't even think it would be. And there we go. Back up to 3 battles. Watch Wolverine get another Val Raven and get right back to 4 again. Yeah! Got it! You know what? We might be able to make top 20. If we keep getting Val Ravens like this. We're getting really lucky on it today. But yeah, if we get another Val Raven after this Val Raven, I think we can actually make top 20. Which means we get a whole nother orb. I'm not going to throw any more gems at it if we don't happen to make it from it. But yeah, that is very lucky. We're going to move that over. Didn't get a red. I guess we'll just manually take a red. What do we need to throw down? We'll go for it. Why not? Get that down. Move all this over. Take all that. What else do we have to mess around with? Yeah, I'll try getting alignment first. So we'll do that. Got our alignment. Perfect. I'll kill that out. And now we just need one more big hit on it. And that'll be match, or at least the Val Raven dead, which is probably going to be match. Once we get past that, it's pretty easy from there. And there we go. Get another one of him down if we have it. Yes, we do. Right over there. We get that. Does that better not miss with all those reds? Get the alignment. Throw it down. And dead. And there we go. And we're right back to 4. We're right back where we were almost 1 hour ago. Come on, Val Ravens. Let's keep seeing them. So far, so lucky. 2 in a row. Very rarely have I seen 2 in a row. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd time. You've pulled Voice of Orpheus and Amnesia. Any suggestions? Voice of Orpheus, not much you can really use for. And as far as Amnesia, it's very situational. You tend to only use it within Guild War Day, particularly Yellow Guild War Day, because it's really easy to build a 4x Daemon team on Yellow Guild War Day out of every color. Red and Yellow days are the easiest days to do it, but of course Amnesia doesn't use red. So yeah, basically Yellow Guild War Day is generally your best bet if you're looking to build a whole team. I guess technically Purple would work, but Yellow Day is your best bet if you're trying to build a full Daemon team. And with that, I normally build something around Gorgotha, Damage Source, Amnesia, and another Damage Source, with one of those generally being a Famine, so that you could use it for mass mana drain. But other than that, I wouldn't really bother using Amnesia in PvP. It's a really slow PvP troop. It's really only good for Guild Wars, because everything it does is good for how Guild Wars is scored. It gains a lot of mana generation, it has a summon, and it just buffs up all your daemons, assuming you're using a bunch of them. And all those aspects are pretty decent for how Guild Wars get scored. But not really the buff aspect part, but the other aspects of it works out really nicely. Because increasing your stats in Guild Wars is actually pretty trivial. It can help if it's like damage-related stats, but you having higher stats does not increase your score. And in the case of HP and armor, it actually technically lowers your score, because the more damage you take, the less score you will gain. So if you're buffing up your HP and armor, but also taking a similar amount of that damage, or even more damage than what you would normally be doing, because you're tanking with that HP armor, you're actually going to get a lower score. Can you not survive with 1 HP? Luckily he had full mana, so he at least dies out. I like how we're just using him simply as a meat shield. We're not even doing anything else other than just having him kill out every single time. We don't have the mana we need. We do not have the mana we need. I guess we'll go get a silence down. He's starting to get way too much HP on his 2nd slot. Actually, even his 1st slot's starting to get too much HP. Okay, we're going to throw this down before it dies. Okay, good. We did indeed get the double silence. Okay, so that might be what they changed it to. Because it did go and silenced him, so that might be the change they made. I think they finally fixed how Parrot works, and how it works is how I initially said it would work, even though that wasn't actually what it did. It has a 100% chance to silence the target, and it has an independent 50% chance to silence the one above and below. So it'll roll 50% twice, one for the one above and one for the one below. I think that is what it does now. Which is what I initially said it does when it first released, even though I didn't realize I was actually wrong because it was buggy. Yeah, we'll go throw that down. But yeah, it seems they fixed that, even though they never mentioned they fixed it. Well, he just got... Oh, wow, we actually just lost. What? That's not good. That's going to hurt us on trying to get top 20. Actually, I don't think that's going to be possible now unless we find Val Ravens. It pretty much already wasn't going to be possible. But, aw. That's unfortunate. But yeah, watch, we're going to be 4,600 short. How much you want to make a bet? Because we lost that battle. We're going to be 4,600 short. The only way we could really recover is if we found 2 Val Ravens. Which is possible. We have 3 battles. And even more if we find the first Val Raven. But we'll see if we get lucky enough. But if we do find 2 Val Ravens, that should still be enough for us to actually make top 20. And we get an extra orb for it if we do. I'll make sure this time around not to accidentally preemptively open the orb. I ended up doing that the first time. Because I accidentally clicked claim all rewards on Monday. Normally I don't click it, but it was just a misclick because that's where the buttons are set up. And I didn't get to show it on the video. We didn't get anything special from it. I think it was just like a green orb or something. But, never know. Okay, we'll go and, I guess we'll toss that down. Let's see. 1,400 per week? That's a lot of gems per week. That isn't all from guilds. Unless it works slightly different on console. Oh, you live in a desert? We get instant dust storms, 0 visibility. Oh, that must be very annoying. I can never deal with scorpions. That's just... Oh, no. I don't know how I could ever live in an area that has scorpions. That just would be so annoying, especially because they blend in so well with stuff. I'd be too afraid to walk anywhere, especially in sandals and stuff. I'd probably wear, like, really heavy-duty shoes, as well as extremely long socks everywhere I go. If I was to ever go to an area that has scorpions. Oh, and it's just pouring, absolutely pouring right now. If I just randomly lose connection, it's from the storm outside. I don't hear any thunder or anything, but it sounds like it's like 1 inch per second of rain. With how loud it is. It might even be coming through the mic, it's so loud. Let's see. We'll go for that. Luckily, my room, even though it has no soundproofing at all, my room actually has really, really thick walls, and it's pretty good at soundproofing, even though it's not actually soundproof. I can barely hear my own thoughts over the rain. Let's see. We'll go throw. I need to go throw a silence down so he doesn't kill us. So we'll throw that right in the middle of the pack. Unless we have the guy right now, but we don't. So we'll go throw that in there. We got the silence on the other one. That works out quite decently. I wish both of them would have got silence though. We'll go move that down. Get that down. Go from there. Probably. We got a lot of rain last night because normally it goes through like those little cycle things. The whole air and rain flow. Like cold and heat patches and all that. I don't know much about weather. What is the word for it? Weatherology? No, there's a proper word for it. Meteorology? I think it's called meteorology. Meteorologists? Somewhere around there. It's such a simple word that most people know. Why can I not think of it right now? Meteorologist, I think is the right one. Or meteorology. Why does that sound wrong? It sounds like the study of meteors. But there's one proper word for it. Anyways, we'll go get that done. He'll go Ferris Raw us. Of course, he would hit our damage source. That's really unfortunate. Hopefully, we get the mana we need. Because this could actually be a problem if we don't. Go take the green. There we go. We should be fine now. Oh, he ruined my alignment, though. Do I just take a skull? I'm almost tempted to go for it at this point. Let me go for brown. Aw, we didn't surge the right color. We surged the blue, not the brown. And I don't have Yagway alignment, so I'm just going to go for a skull here. Ideally, he'll give it to us. He did not give it to us, but I'm going to go for it anyways. And that worked out quite decently. Oh, I thought that would be enough to kill. Apparently not, but which should be pretty easy. It creates purple for us. Out of every single week to be using this thing, they actually made it really well in this final battle. It's so ridiculously easy to get good board alignment because everything on the enemy team helps us. And I can just kill it with a skull at this point, so down it goes. And can we get a Valraven? We got 2 more battles left. So far we've been lucky with it, but you never know. Nope. Okay. We only have 1 more battle chance to get a Valraven. And if we don't get it, that's the end of the line, and we definitely didn't make top 20. It comes down to pure luck pretty much at this point. Unless we want to pay 200 more gems, which we don't. We definitely don't. And even if we did, there was still a chance that people could pass us. Because there's still, like, what, 5 hours? If people wanted to, they could. Well, we'll go for a Scolder. Take the poke. Get our silence down, just in case. Throw it there. Okay, that is what it does now. That is definitely what it does. So, what I initially said. So, this is what I said on day 1, though it didn't actually do that, but now it does. So, basically, how a parrot works is it deals damage to an enemy. It silences the enemy it hits. And then it has an independent 50% chance per troop chance to silence the 2 adjacents. So, at 100% chance to silence the target, 50% chance of 2 independent rolls, 1 for the top one and 1 for the bottom to silence those. So that appears to be what it does. And it does appear to be finally working correctly now. Because before it was able to silence like 4 and do some really weird like patterns with it. I think what it was doing before is it was actually still doing that, but it was doing that in a way where it kept re-rolling the 50% chance every single time, so that you could basically silence the entire team. And it kept repeating it so much that it basically almost always silenced the entire enemy team. But they fixed it now. Alright, we'll go and get this down if it would actually click. Any teams for invasions? I'm not fully certain yet. I'm pretty sure we'll have to use mechs. The biggest issue with that is there are about 0 mechs that are viable. If you don't already have it, one thing that you could start farming tonight, if you don't already have the trait stones for, or if you don't already have it traded, is get Mechanist class fully traded. Actually, I should probably go switch to that class right now. But yeah, Mechanist fully traded is going to be not mandatory, but very, very excessively highly advised to use for next week. But yeah, my team's most likely just going to be the Siege Troop, Mang, something. I'm not sure what those other 2 are yet. Because we have to use mechs, so we can't use Tesla, unfortunately. There's very few viable mechs. I guess Deep Bore, that is a mech, so we will be able to use that to mana generate for our what's it called? The Deep Bore. I mean, Deep Bore to mana generate for our Mank. And that alone might actually be our entire team. We could technically just go first slot Mank if we really wanted to, and try going down that path. Actually, I might do that. I might end up doing the team as Mank, Siege Troop, Deep Borer, and 1 other troop then. That's probably what I'm going to do. Not fully certain on that other one though, but yeah, something along that line. It does seem like the path I will be going. Shocktopus, it has decent board control. The problem is no other mech, I don't believe, does true damage. So you wouldn't have any true damage to synergize with your true damage. But yeah, the board control aspect of it's not bad, but I think Deep Borer will be enough for that. I don't think we need a second troop for it. I'd rather just go additional damage sources in case we get killed by towers. Because they do get really high attack eventually. What do we need to move around? I guess we'll throw this down again. And what else? We'll go do it again, I guess, just so we get alignment. Perfect, extra turn. And hopefully we get a Valraven next match, because if we don't, that is it. We are done, and we didn't make top 20. But it's still the highest we ever made. On the pay-to-win boards. Okay, do we get a Valraven? The pay-to-win boards. It's pretty much... let's see. Yeah. We could always throw 200 more gems to go get it, but I'm probably not going to. We wouldn't have been 4,600 away, though. But let me see. If we were to get a Valraven, would that be enough? It'd probably be 4,600 off. How much you want to make a bet? We're going to get a Valraven. It's going to be 4,600 off because we lost the 1 battle. 4,600 times 3. And add that to our current score. 358,600. 372,400 is what we would be able to reach. Is that within 4,600 range? Plus 4,600. You've got to be kidding me. Even if we didn't lose that previous battle, we would be 300 short. 300 points from making 20th place. Only 300. Wow. I mean, not 300. Yeah, 300, yeah. For a second, I thought it was 30. No, it's 300. Though, look at their gap. They're only 40 away. But yeah, we'd be 300 points away if we didn't lose the previous battle and we get a Valraven on this next battle. We would be 300 away. But there's a good chance we won't even get a Valraven here. Though, we will be able to take top 20 if we Valraven this and then Valraven... No, we didn't get it. But if we Valraven this and then Valraven another battle, which would have been insane. That would have been the most Valravens I ever seen on a day. I think that would be like our 5th or 6th Valraven. Then we would have reached it. But at this point, I might as well just retreat from this battle. I guess we'll play it out because we're already in the battle. But we have no need to play this since it's not a Valraven. We just make top 50 instead. And that'll be that. We could go spend 150 gems to go get a another little orb thingy, but as I mentioned earlier, if we get a purple orb, it's break even, and if we get a blue orb, that would be the only profitable one. So even if we did go do that and spend the other 200 gems, there's only a 25% chance we'd profit from it, a 25% chance that it would be exactly the same and we'd just be wasting our time, or a 50% chance we'd be losing our resources. And that would not be worth that gamble. Because obviously the odds there are stacked against us in that certain situation. Your class is Dragon Guard for Mountain Crusher, Glitter Claw, Dragon Soul, Shadow Dragon. What would you replace Hero with if you can change to Mech class? Wait, what would you replace Hero with so you can change to Mech class? Oh, I see. So you can do... Oh, yeah. You can either go... I see what you're saying now. You want to keep using the team, but you want to have your hero set as mech so you can use it for the game mode. I see. With that being said, yeah, probably Dragotar or a KrissTigger would be your two best... Oh, never mind. You're using Glitter Claw. You don't need KrissTigger. Yeah, probably just Dragotar then, because that will cover the brown that you would not be using because of the replacement, and it would give you the buff to all your dragons. And it's relatively tanky, even though I personally don't use it much, because there's better stuff this late in the game, but... yep, you could definitely get away with Dragotar. One other pretty tanky one that you can use is Elamagrim last slot, but that's, you would need it fully traded, and you would need to even have an Elamagrim. But yeah, Dragotar would be your cheapest viable replacement. And you definitely have that laying around, it's only a rare. Okay, he gives us board alignment again, perfect. And now we just keep spamming this until we win. But yeah, we'll see exactly how this team works in future bounty hunters. It'll obviously work a little bit less because the final battle won't be giving us this good of a board setup. He has two troops that are actually helping us insanely. He has this game creating purples and this also creating purples, both of which help us out a lot with this team. Of course, on most given weeks, we will not have that benefit, but I think it will still be an absolutely insane combo as far as how strong they are, so definitely looking forward to using this in future bounty hunters. I just really wish the final battle of bounty hunter was something different instead of the same thing every single time. But oh well, it's worth it for the rewards. And that's the main thing we're doing it for. And this will be our last battle for it this week. And of course, it'll be back next month. Probably around this time next month. Mid-April. I mean, mid-May, I mean. But that is that. And our final score is the highest we've gotten yet. We did buy one of each pack, including one of the final pack. And that has gotten us to 24th place with a score of 363,200 points. So, unfortunately, not top 20. Not worth going for it. Even though we easily could by throwing gems at it. Congrats to JZG. I don't believe he's here right now, but he normally is within the streams. I think he's normally in the morning streams, though, so he's normally not on the nightly streams. But yeah, congrats if you're watching this after the fact. This is pretty late. He probably wouldn't be this late into the video. 70 minutes into the video, but you never know. But yeah, I'll need to say congrats to him. I think that's the first time he hit #1 on any of the leaderboard thingies. But yeah, there he is on #1 for the Power Orb this week. I believe his current expense on that is somewhere around 3,000 to 3,500 gems, somewhere around that general ballpark. Though, of course, we can actually ask him since he's normally on stream, so we'll go ask him later, see how much he actually spent to get a Power Orb. But yeah, he almost hit 1 million. Let me go screenshot that for later just so I know exactly what he scored, just for when I ask him later, just so I can put the points to the amount of costs that he says. And then we take away the 700 from it, because, of course, he gets 700 back. We get 100 back, I believe, or 150, whatever it was. What trade stones will be available next week? Brown purple. The things you would throw brown purple in is actually Keeper Souls and Bone Dragon, both of which you got this week if you open some event keys. Other than that, not really many good things. Drake Rider, good for a decent early game. Corrupt Sorceress is good to double trait, but you don't need the Arcanes to get her final, or you only need the Arcanes for her final trait, but her only viable trait is her second trait, so you don't really need to do that. Got Goblin Shaman's a good troop, but you don't need it traded, so don't need to do that. Florian's getting nerfed, so you can go Refunder to get even more brown-purple next week. Keeper of Souls is nice to have fully traded. Not really that mandatory. All he gets is a 50% chance to summon a white. But both of these two troops basically have the same mechanic, and both of them are situationally good to go and get because they do give additional summons. Magnus is pretty decent to go and fully trade up. If you haven't been using it, it's a really good kind of status effect placer. It's actually the best troop in the game for placing status effects. The main reason it doesn't really get used that much are two main reasons. One is it ends its turn after doing its ability. It has no board control whatsoever. No board manipulation, no anything. Not even board clear. The other aspect of it is it's really random with its status effects. And this can both be good or bad, but it's not consistent. And because it's not that consistent, people tend to not use it as much. Rock Spirit's really good to fully trade early on in the game. Actually, out of everything early game players can get, probably fully traded Rock Spirit would be it. He's mainly used below level 200, but if you are a newer player that kind of just started and you have a Rock Spirit laying around, definitely a good idea to fully trade it. You only need to buy 3 of the new troop that's coming in on Monday through Glory to go and get that. So that would only cost you 900 Glory. You could easily get that in a week. Probably already getting like 360 or something from your guild automatically. I forget if Ferris Ra uses it, but obviously you'd want to use it for Ferris Ra if he does. I almost guarantee he does, though I'm not 100% certain. I'm like 95% certain he uses brown purple. Unfortunately, there's no way by looking at the card to know what it does. You can look at it under their screen, but I believe after you've fully traded them, it doesn't show you anymore what they use. Yeah, it doesn't show you anymore after you've already gotten it. But yeah, I believe it's brown purple, almost guarantee, so he'd be really, really good to go fully trait. That's one of the 2 trait stones, so now you only need to go get his other trait stone, which I also completely forget what it is. I believe it's purple blue? I don't know. It's either purple blue, purple something, I don't know. There's like 4 different other options that it could be or something. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's brown purple, and if it is, definitely fully trait him, since most people probably got that this week. And Yasmin would be decent too if she happens to use it. Let me go look that up real quick. Where is Gems of War database? Oh, I don't even have it up right now. Oh, it's Spirit? Okay, so it is brown, purple, and Spirit. So it's blue, purple, and brown, purple. Okay, so he does indeed use it then. Sweet. Okay, but yeah, fully trade him. Definitely a great idea. That's the whole point of even getting him in the first place is to fully trade him. So that's half his trait stones gone then. So that works out quite convenient. Let me just double check that one last time. Let's see. That's not the right one. I'm looking for Ash Tender. Oh wait, never mind. It's called Gems of War database now. I keep forgetting. They keep changing the name of this website. No, they didn't. They only changed it once. But I always keep forgetting to type in the newer name. Let's see. Ferris Raw. I'm just double checking to 100% confirm because I don't want to accidentally say the wrong thing on Monday. But yes, it does indeed use brown purple and blue purple as its 2 trait stones. Brown purple you can buy infinitely next week, so definitely do so. And blue purple you can go farm in Glacial Peaks or Kedar, depending on which one you prefer to go in. Both of them are about the same difficulty and everything. So yeah, that's all you need to do. So basically you just go throw a bunch of glory to get whatever the new troop is, and then you have all the brown purples you need, and then just go into either Glacial Peaks, Kedar's, Explore, and just spend several hours there, probably about 3 or so, assuming you have like 0 at the moment. And by the end of those few hours, you'll have all the trait stones you need to fully trade a Ferris Ra. For any of you who got it this week but didn't bother to fully trade it yet because you didn't have them, you'll easily be able to do that, or at least half of that next week. Of course, you could just wait for a blue-purple event. Not sure when the next one's coming, but brown-purple is tomorrow, so you got that covered at least. Anyways, I believe that's pretty much everything. Of course, I do need to go finish out the PvP event thingy. I did so low PvP this week, but that shouldn't take too long. If we really wanted to, we can get it done and explore in like 20 minutes. So it's not going to take that long, but I'll be finishing that off later tonight, off stream and all that. Probably doing a bit more PvP too, since I've been slacking on it a bit. Actually, how bad am I doing this week on my PvP? I'm probably like the lowest amount of trophies. I'm at 157. How much you want to make a bet? Okay, I'm not the lowest in the entire guild. Actually, there's a lot of people that are pretty low. Though I can't really complain because I'm also pretty low this week. I think it has to do with the fact that raids and bounty hunter are occurring simultaneously. It's the first time it has ever happened simultaneously. So it's probably eating up a lot of people's time. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading off for now. Hope you all have a wonderful next week. Other than that, of course, we're getting the Adana event on Monday. 1 week from tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of this channel, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So it's kind of funny because it falls exactly on an event day, which is kind of cool. Because I believe I did the event video 1 day off because of just how the week was at the time when I did the very first video ever. But yeah, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now. 1 week will be the 2-year mark. Not sure if we'll do anything special for that, but yeah, we are approaching very close. Almost 8,000 subscribers too. Curious if we'll actually reach it in time. I sure hope so. We're probably going to be a few dozen short though, I would suspect. But yeah, we've definitely come a long way, that is for sure. And thank you everyone for your continued support and for coming down. A lot of you keep coming down like every single night. I really do appreciate that. I have no clue how some of you fit that into your schedules. I guess some people do have like their nights free and they just work throughout the day, so that would make sense. But anyways, guys, I'll see y'all later. Thank you all for, so much for coming down again, and I'll be covering the event video soon, TM, as soon as it comes out. We'll have it up a few hours afterwards. Only real thing you really need to know about that is you can gain all the brown purples you need off the event thing, which is usable for Fair Shra and a few other various troops. And the only other thing that will be interesting is Tesla is in the event key drop pool, which is really good for newer players, though most people who are above level 300 probably don't really need to worry about it much. You probably already have a Tesla laying around, and even if you don't, that late in the game, you don't really need a Tesla anymore. But anyways, guys, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for coming down, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Goodbye, everyone.